Hello, hello, Renee Ewart here with Stampin' Up, independent demonstrator, and I am going to show you my ideas that sprung from the July Paper Pumpkin kit and the add-ons. And I just came up with a great number of ideas that I want to show you that I really liked and thought were quite successful. So we'll go ahead and rummage through these and start showing you some of these classic ones, and then talking about a few of them for you. All right, and these are those will be the last ones. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna bring it down. Okay, so here we are, and one of the standard ones that was shown on the July kit. These are the note cards. If you go ahead and look at my paper pumpkin, my video from last week, you'll see the July paper pumpkin. Anyway, so here we go with this one. And what happens with the note cards, and I didn't finish this one up, but I'll show you this one that is finished up, all right, is that instead of making it into a card or just putting something back here, I decided to place the baggies. Now, basically, you do have to cut the baggie down. You can use different kinds of shears to do that. You can use a straight edge, or you can go ahead and have an embellished edge, whatever you prefer. And then you can go ahead and glue it completely. You glue it completely so that that back piece, the fold over, is also glued to the bag, and then glue all of that on so it's well glued in there. And then this, of course, will become the back of it, and then you can slide out your little card, and you can go ahead and have this on there, that starburst or that fireworks. And then on the back you could have adhered gift card, or even a folded check if you like, or a dollar with a little glue dot. You can stick it on there, and then you can also have your sentiment that you would like to write and sign it. So that worked out real well. The way I did this is, obviously I took a bag and sponged it onto the card, and then of course the rest of the bag is pretty trashed after that. But you can rescue that piece that you sponged. I'm just trying to get this in here because the edges are a little funky. So I didn't do that right. I never do those things right. There it is. But anyway, so you will also see, because of the way you sponge it, if you do it right, then you will see through the actual design. So that's really good. And here too, did it so that you could see the design through that paper bag. What you do with the rest is you can make a flower out of that center piece. And all I did is I did dab some extra color on here. I did the gold and the red afterwards. I did the gold, did I do, oh no, I did both on here as well for that one. And then I twisted this to make it smaller, and then on the back I used a dimensional and twisted it so that it twists around and makes a little flower. And there you go. All right, so that's that one. So that's what happens after you go ahead and sponge it. You can cut that out and use it for another card. So I really like that. This is the pretty classic one. As I said, I did use the post-it punch. They did have a posted for you punch is what it is, and I did use that one. All right, so instead of their label, which is gorgeous, and of course you can use, I just decided to use that one. So next, with that, I want to show you again what you do is we did punch it out, and I did do a little tie here, a little ribbon, so that you can pull it out and somebody knows something is in there for them. So that's really cute and works out. Now, the other card I made, I saw on the demonstrator paper pumpkin site, someone was using wood and like a fence, and I thought of a gate. And so I was trying for a barnyard door, but it could be a gate to a backyard as well. And so I designed this card that was fairly easy. We do have paper that will give you the planks, which is in good taste, designer series paper, so you could use that. And then just made that little flap, have that little firefly right there, lightning bug, and there you go. There you go, there's your little, you will notice that that one is cut. I did cut that because, the reason I cut that is because what I saw in that Ferris wheel and roller coaster, another barn. And I will show you where I did that. One is right here. This was where that was a starburst, and I made it into like a starburst firework. And then this was the barn. And so I had made that card using that other piece, which I really liked. And that could definitely, you can make that more into a barn by coloring it darker. I will color it probably darker soon. So these are some of those cards. Now, with that theme of the wood, I wanted to go ahead, and I saw that people used branches, and some people used a tree, and I wanted to do a tree. And so I went ahead, and again, there is that DSP, and again, the one, this is from the past, the one you can use is the In Good Taste. And I used the birds and branches to make this one. And you can see here, that is the long one, and then I put the short ones in there, and then used the leaves to stamp it and came up with the tree. This came from Woven Threads from last year and was the ribbon, and it reminded me a little bit of a fence, so I kind of liked that. And so that was that card from there. And so it was pretty easy to stamp that into there, and so I was real pleased. Well, talking about branches and all of that and trees, well, I decided to go ahead and use the Free as a Bird set and color in the Free as a Bird set, cut out from that Bird Ballad Designer Series paper from last year. I cut out some feathers and used from the World of Good their ribbon, and they also had, which I'm finding more and more uses for, this is what is called antique corners and slide elements. Love these, love these, love these. And thought I'd make a handle like a door. Also, again, like on a fence. And so I went ahead and did this one, which I really, really enjoyed making. And that was pretty easy, cutting that up. And then, of course, the starbursts in the background, or the fireworks. I call them starbursts, they're actually fireworks. So after that, I'm going to go with my next, I'm going to start working with the jars. Okay, so with the jars, I'm sure some of you have seen the flower concept, and I just went ahead and cut off the bottom part of the jar. Just cut that bottom part out, put it at a slant, and put these in there. You can see the stems coming out a little bit from here, and then here are some extra little flowers I felt in the background. Very simple card. I wetted this down, and on the back side I wetted it down with one of your water brushes. If you have a spritzer bottle, I'm sure you could do that. Kind of crinkled it up and got the edges colored to make it look a little antiqued or a little rough. I feel like this is kind of a barnyard set for some reason. That's kind of my go-to here with those mason jars. So then I made that one. Well, then I saw this card on the demonstrator place. Oh, I'll go with this one first. And then there's this one that is very similar to the one that is, there's my sweet little puppy. Then there was one on the demonstrator place, and there that showed the lid cut off, and so in the paper pumpkin it shows the jar and shows the little fireflies and then them coming out and things like that. And I like the jar open versus closed, so I just cut off the lid and then went ahead and did this. All right. And nothing really too fancy. Here's some white ink. That's all that is. And I did not emboss. I've seen some beautiful embossing. I did do the tails in gold a little bit and try to gold and whiten this up so it kind of shined. But of course, if you use the embossing heat gun, you'll really get a great effect, and I've seen some of those, and I did not do that. I did not want to do that this time. One of the things is I'm going to have a class on August 18th, and all my people, do not have all those tools, and I do it on Zoom. So I had to figure out these projects to figure out what I could do and how I could do this with them, and them having the material. They did buy the kit and they bought the add-on. They have been with me for a little bit, so they have some extra inks and stuff like that. So I had to think through what they have so that we could do these cards and have a little bit of fun. Well, talking about jars, I'd seen this on the demonstrator website, and it is a pop-up card, and it's a great pop-up card. And I was a German woman, and she spoke German, but it was fairly easy to see what she was doing, and I also speak German, so it makes it fairly easy to follow. And so basically what this is a 5, it's a 5 1/4 by 8, and then you score it every 2, 4, 6, 8, right? So every 2 inches it's scored on the 8 side, and then you fold it in half like that, all right? And then you fold this side back. This side will get glued. This side goes ahead and gets glued right down here like this, okay? So that goes like that, and then that comes up like that, and then that is eventually going to get glued down here. Sorry, that's eventually, this piece is going to get glued down here, this piece, right here. So make sure you can see it. And then you glue your item. What's gonna happen is that this piece is going to go ahead and the pop-up has to be only glued on this, and this stays open, and this will actually shine through. You can see that here. This you'll see is here, and that's what makes that mechanism work. So I really loved my little jar and thought that was really cute and was very pleased to do that. Now the thing is that I wanted to do this card for my class, because I like to always do a specialty card for my class. And so how was I going to do that, because not everybody has the punch? So what I decided to do, and this one does need, this was my first try, I must say, and I'm going to amend it just a little bit, and I'll show you how. But same principle, same exact principle on how that glues down, okay? And I actually used, as if you can see, I actually used one of the cards from the add-on, and I did cut it. So because I cut it, I was able to get an extra little piece, an extra embellishment piece here, which I thought was really nice. for this card. And basically what I did is, again, the same concept, just glue that jar on this side, and then that other side, as you will see, where did I do that? Just so that you see that other side, it's not glued on, okay? Now this can be bigger or smaller, there just has to be some room. Now, my mistake is obviously I went too close to the edge. I should have gone in more, okay? Not too much, but excuse me, I should have gone in a little more, which I can. It's not a problem. And I thought at first, well, I'll never get a tag on here. Well, I was wrong, because I did get a tag on, as you see, but I thought, well, it won't work next time. Well, it does, because all you do is you put your little dimensionals right here, only here, and then if it's far enough back, it'll flip open. It'll just move it. It's just free, so it can move, okay? So it can move, and actually it's better if it's longer so it doesn't go beyond, because once you go beyond, it's hard to get it back, you see? So you want it so that it actually doesn't go beyond when you open up the card. So that will work real nicely. So the way I did this is I simply traced it, and then I took my scissors, my pointed little snips, and I simply went right through and then started cutting. And the piece that maybe you don't think is as nice could be right there. See, that's as bad as it got. Right there is where that happened. Not bad at all. And I could probably take a pen and color that a little bit, or erase that, get rid of that, but not bad at all. So you can cut it out, and anybody, whether they have a jar or not, can make this card. It's great. I love it. And we're going to make it for my class on the 18th. My friend, she made one of these cards, and we used one of the note cards from the paper pumpkin, and we used obviously the Ferris wheel and the roller coaster. And basically this mechanism is fairly easy. This is like 1.5 inches. This is 1 inch high. You actually fold it first like a hot dog. You can see here. You fold it like a hot dog, and then you fold it like a hamburger, and then you're going to cut it out right here. I don't think it has to be as big as mine is. And of course you want this is what's going to be glued right here. As you can see, it's going to be glued right here. All right, you don't want it any higher, so that's why this is shorter. It can be longer if your piece is longer. The name of this game, though, and I'm going to show you this and how to do these so that you do it right so that it flips up. Okay, the name of this game is that when you put it in, let's say here is your corner, right here is your edge, right? You want it to be on both sides, correct? You want to go ahead and make sure what flips it up. If you're open and you open up your card, that's not much of a flip. So as you see here, as I go towards that crease, that flips up more and more. You know, if you saw that. So if you leave it flat and you just go ahead and glue one side of the card, so let's say this is the center of your card, and you go ahead and you glue that like that, okay, and you close it, and then you glue the other side and you close it. It won't be much of a pop-up when you open it up. So what you want to do is you want to get your pop-up. So you want to make sure that you know how you're going to glue it. So there is how you're going to glue it. You want that edge, this edge, on the edge of the paper so that it will pop up correctly, okay? So that's the trick with that one in particular. And I've been playing around with it to show you that. And so you can do this pretty much with anything that you would like popped up that's long enough and could pop up. And it's just a small little mechanism, and your piece has to go across both sides, obviously, to do the pop-up, all right? So, this is my little puppy. So anyway, so we're gonna do that card. So the cards Okay, so there's one more card. So there are many people who saw this card out of the paper pumpkin looking like an ocean, all right? And so you could have had the ocean go this way, you could have the ocean go this way. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it's how you see it. It's up to you. I saw it this way, and I did put it on a card, a standard Whisper White card. And what I did is obviously cut everything out. And it wasn't as hard as you would think to cut these things out. It works pretty easily. Of course, the big ones are very easy. And these are not too bad either. And you just snip up. I just snip up every so often. This, what happened here, is the areas that I could not snip out that were in between. Like there's a leaf here, and so there's a leaf here, and a leaf here, and a big white spot here. Well, guess what went there? You know, so it works really well. There was also here an area that I could not get because it was in between the leaves. And so, of course, there went my guy. So obviously, you've got your little seaweed growing up, your whale, your turtles, and I even was able to cut out those little guys from that designer series paper. Of course, the stamp set that goes with this has bigger ones, but I did want to keep them small. So that's why I went ahead and cut it out of the DSP. So my class on August 18th, which I'm going to do on Zoom, and if you're interested, please comment on the bottom of this video under the comments that you are interested in attending this class, and I will get a hold of you and we'll discuss what you'll need. But what I want to do in this class is I would definitely want to make this card. We are going to make this card. We are going to make this card. I'm going to make both of them. I want to show them how they can do that and that. We are going to make this card. I like to make alternates, as you can see. We are going to make this card. Did I tell you where we're going to make that little card, that little one that we had here? We are going to make this one. I'm going to teach them how to do a flip up. So we are going to do this one. This I used the DSP from Playing with Patterns. I really do like that DSP. I shared it with a friend of mine, and we both, she took the For Every Season Flowers, and I bought that, and then she bought this, and we split it in half. So we were quite pleased. And so these are the cards that I'm going to be doing. And I'm obviously going to be doing this one right here. And then the jar one maybe right here if we have time. I cannot do this one. They do not have the material. And I will show them this, of course, but I don't think I'll be making this unless I do the pattern and not put the paper on, because you can do that where you just put the pattern on this and then do it that way, and that's real pretty. Also, I don't think I was quite as pleased with this end product. There you go. There's the cards. There are a tremendous amount of cards that were made through this package, and it is great. The add-on is available. I suggest you get the add-on because it has all the embellishments on the add-on and the note cards, which are gorgeous. This is one of them. This is another one of them. Oh, the sky one. This is a gorgeous one. This is another one of them. So they really are beautiful cards. And I can see them for Halloween and the fall nights. So this can definitely go into the fall. The lightning bugs that you would have, and the little lanterns and the ball jars are there, and some blue twine is there, and some gold stars are there, and also these gold stars. These gold stars are there. So it definitely, oh, and of course the roller coaster and Ferris wheel are there. So that, you might not have the stamp set, but you have tons of embellishments to make a card, and you can easily see the add-ons are only $10, and you can see I can make a totally different card with their materials and not use that particular stamp set. All right, and of course here as well, I did not have to use that sentiment. I could use any one I'd like. They also have the bags in there as well. So it's a really good add-on, and it's only $10. If you do get the add-on and you do not have a demonstrator, you can get it through me. I'll put my host code up there, and love to see you on August 18th. We are starting at 1:30 p.m. If that looks like a good day for you, it's on Zoom. Doesn't matter where you are in the country. We'll talk and figure out how you can do these cards. You saw kind of which ones we're going to do, and should be a lot of fun. So I hope that you have a great day, and that this video gave you some ideas on what to do. All right, thank you, and happy crafting.